Hello and welcome to CBS News in brief, broadcasting to you from Hargeisa. My name is Yunis Dekow. Somaliland Justice and Welfare Party called the government recently released the annual performance documentary a deceptive. The Information Secretary of Wa'ad Party, Yusuf Kaisi Abdullahi, said the government's performance documentary is an empty picture that lacks any substance. In a press conference at his party headquarters, Yusuf Kaisi refuted the government's claim of completing 114 projects this year. Yusuf Kaisi retorted that there is no evidence of those projects and their beneficial impact on the people. The Information Secretary of Wa'ad Party criticized the government for counting the president's foreign trips as accomplishment. Yusuf Kaisi said the taxpayers will have been better served without those trips. He challenged the government to showcase the value gained from the president's foreign visits. In another issue, the Wa'ad official slammed the government for its response to the spread of chikungunya virus in Togdel region. Yusuf Kaisi said the government failed to come to Togdel's side in the face of the deadly viral outbreak. Wa'ad Party also hit the government on its human rights record this year. He said the human rights situation in the country has reached the lowest point ever. He accused the government of normalizing the arbitrary detention of ordinary citizens, journalists and politicians. The Prime Minister of the Somali federal government, Hassan Ali Khayre, has addressed the 19th edition of Doha Forum that kicked off yesterday, hosted by the Qatari government. Yesterday, Prime Minister Hassan Ali Khayre, along with members from the cabinet ministers and the federal parliament, met officials from the Doha municipality after receiving an official invitation from the Qatari government to attend the Doha Forum. The Prime Minister's keynote speech addressed the role of the business community in the process of rebuilding the country, opportunities in Somalia, encouraging foreign trade investors, and the prospect of being part of Somalia's new governance structure. Prime Minister Hassan Ali Khayre said the private sector saved the Somalis after the collapse of the Somali central government. The Premier also noted the economic policy transformation and critical legislations that have been sponsored by his administration. The Prime Minister said the government has encouraged and facilitated trade and business investment opportunities in the last 3 years. Somalia, according to the Premier, also adopted a number of laws, including the Financial Administration Act, the Telecommunication Act, and investment, as well as anti-corruption law, which makes it easier for government to become more attractive to investors. The President of Puntland State of Somalia has casted doubts on the possibility of universal suffrage in Somalia next year. Speaking at the function launching the work plan for the interim state electoral agency, President Said Abdullahi then called on the federal government of Somalia to come out clear on the matter. Then he said it is not clear how the one-man, one-vote election will be realized with only 1 year left to prepare for such a monumental task. President Deni lamented the ambiguity, the election model that the country will adopt for the next year's election. He questioned the compatibility of the previous 4.5 power sharing formula and the Universal Suffrage Initiative. Puntland's leader urged the federal government to hold inclusive consultations to discuss the modality of the country's next election. Then his remarks come amid concerns among various stakeholders that Somalia may not realize the one-person, one-vote milestone given the remaining time. Parliamentary elections are expected to take place as from October next year, culminating into presidential elections on February 2021. A group of Turkish businessmen have been received by officials from the office of the mayor of the Somali capital, Mogadishu. The business people from Turkey and Somalia emphasized on developing economic ties between the two countries and called for more initiatives to enhance cooperation in every field. Speaking before the opening of the Somali-Turkey Agricultural Expo on Sunday, the group stressed that Somalia has a very special position in the African vision of Turkey. The meeting was also attended by members of parliament of Somalia's lower house and officials from the mayor's office, led by the deputy governor, Omar Ibrahim Dere. The businessmen are exploiting investment opportunities in Mogadishu, which is recovering from decades of civil war. The Turkish businessmen, led by engineer Halim, say that they are satisfied with the warm welcome of the Somali people. Engineer Halim said the delegation from Turkey have special interest in the agricultural sector of Somalia. The Deputy Governor of Mogadishu, Omar Dere, said that Turkey is a key development ally of Somalia. He added that the two friendly countries will continue collaborating to mutually benefit the two brotherly nations. And the Somali Federal President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo unveiled the distribution of over 1 million primary school books targeting 300,000 students countrywide. The launch of the books, which comprises of 1 million student books and 100,000 teachers' guide, marks a major milestone as Somalia seeks to standardize its curriculum after close to 30 years when private entities ran the education sector in the absence of the government. Speaking during the launch in Mogadishu, Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo said his administration was committed to ensure all children access affordable education in the country. According to a statement from Villa Somalia, the books will reach 300,000 students in 915 schools countrywide. The government now runs only 24 public schools carrying around 65,000 students. These schools were previously run by private organizations following the collapse of the central government in 1991. The Somali leader added the government will ensure all public schools under private hands will be repossessed by the government. And that's all that we have for you. Thank you for joining us. My name is Yunis Dekow. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.